Welcome back to the Yarn Dungeon. Today, we are going to chit chat about all the different books that I ended up finishing this week, and one of them that I didn't. One I liked so much that I would love to get into the rest of the series. It was a cozy murder mystery. I know, shocking no one at this point, but you know what? I like what I like. It can't be helped. And if I have such a good time with it, and there's so many other stories in the series, why not get into more of it? All three of them were totally different from each other. So I had a cozy murder mystery, I had a slasher, and then a haunted house book. Okay, should we just get that out of the way right now? Because that was my most disappointing read of the week. I did end up using one of my credits for an audiobook, which is why I was just struggling to finish it. I'm like, I've used a credit, just finish the book, but I couldn't. I don't know, it just was not doing it for me. And at some point, I just had to cut it. So The Place Where They Buried Your Heart. Okay, look at the cover of this book. It is so spooky. I love the purple, the blue, the haunted house, very ominous. You would think that this would be a hands down 5 out of 5 read for me. I will say the beginning quarter of the book was that way. And the action that happened within the first couple of chapters, it had a punch. That might have been a part of the problem for me, is that I was expecting that all the way through. I wanted more of that, more of the haunted house. The categories that this is under is supernatural, thriller, suspense, fantasy, and scary. This came out in November of 2025, and I may definitely be in the minority here because it has a 4.2 star rating. It could have been a many number of things, but even now, after I've let it sit for a couple of days, deciding that I didn't want to finish it, I just don't want to go back to it. I really honestly don't. And it's so sad to me because it should have been a win. So I'm just going to read you a little blurb because this is what I expected from the book. On an otherwise ordinary street in Chicago, there is a house, an abandoned house where once upon a time, terrible things happened. The children who live on the block are told by their parents to stay away from the house, but of course, children don't listen. Children think it's fun to be scared, to dare each other to go inside. So we have our main character, Jessie, who has a little brother, Paul. She dares him to go into this house. Now, this house, from the beginning, we know this house is haunted. We know that all of the parents have told the kids, stay away from it. Don't even go near it. Obviously, don't go inside because it is crumbling. Like, it's been left abandoned for so long that even if it wasn't haunted, you might fall through the floor. We don't know the condition that it's in because it's just been sitting on the block. So that by itself, just let it be. But obviously, kids are not going to do that. So Jessie dares her brother to go inside because, you know, they're siblings and they were fighting about something and she just wanted to get him out of the room. So he does go into the house. He grabs a couple of his other friends. Out of the 3 that go into the house, only 2 come back out. Both of them are ranting and raving about a monster that lives in this house. I was just sad after that. I was like, this is going to be amazing. This house sounds wild. I want to know the ins and outs of this house. But then it kind of fell off a little bit for me. With each chapter, it fell off more and more and more. We end up jumping time. So we have Jessie is the main character that we're following, and just kind of the trajectory of her life after this event has happened. And we'll jump like 5 or 6 years at a time. So we start with Jessie being a teenager, and then by the time I got to the end where I stopped reading the book, I only have 50 minutes left in this book. That's wild to me. And like any other time, I would look at that and just be like, Kayla, sit down and finish the rest of this book. But I just can't. I don't know. I just don't care anymore. I just feel like I would end up disliking the book even more, if that makes sense, just to force myself to finish it. Feel very badly that I didn't even finish the book. I mean, obviously, I'm at this point, how many days later that I've decided to completely set it aside. I'm not going back to it. I still feel badly about it, but for whatever reason, it didn't work, and I just have to accept that. So yeah, this is just my opinion about the book. I'm not saying that I'm never going to read anything by this author again. I don't know. It just fell off for me and I couldn't get back into the book. So let's leave that one there and move on to a book that I did finish, Camp 1985. It is part of the Slasherverse universe, and this is technically book 1. I don't know if there is something tying all the books together or the fact that they're all just slashers. But after reading this one, I am interested in reading a book number 2 in this universe. This is a slasher through and through. This is exactly what I was wanting. And after we read that one, what is it? Summer Slasher? Slasher Summer. That one just kind of fell flat for me, and it left me like wanting a slasher book. I wanted a summer ween, all the tropes included, start to finish. That's what I expect. That's what I'm going to get. And this book delivered on that. Enter the nostalgic laced world of Camp 1985, a bogus new summer program where parents send their social media addicted teens to unplug and make face-to-face connections without the help of a screen. Basically, we have these parents sending these kids to this camp for an entire week without their phone. Like, they have to give up their phone as soon as they get to the camp. They actually don't even enter the camp with their phone. They actually have to take a golf cart to get into the camp, so about a mile and a half before the camp. So most of the kids knew this was going to happen ahead of time, but the main character that we follow had no idea. He thought he was going to this camp with a bunch of other influencers. He was going to film his entire experience, but we get there and his aunt tells him no technology. So right off the bat, he's not excited to be there. And pretty much every other person is also not excited, which is just fantastic. Like, that setting was perfect for the opening of this book. Some of the tropes were a little heavy-handed. Like, there was a character that we were not supposed to like, and that was made clear from the moment that we met him. He was just very confrontational with literally every character, and then him and another character just seemed to butt heads right away for kind of no reason. Like, it seemed forced, but this really wasn't that long of a book. Did we even have 300 pages? No, 216 pages. We needed to know the characters enough to kind of care about them. Once the actual slasher was introduced, you were rooting for them, even though you know, okay, not all of them are getting out of this situation. And then the ending, I did really enjoy. It wasn't one that had a super clean, wrapped up ending. Every single loose end was tied off. There were still a couple of questions that I had that would have been fun to be answered. On the other side, it was nice that they weren't, because I don't always like a clean-cut ending for my slashers. I want it to be punchy, I want it to be in my face, and then it ends. That's really honestly what I expect out of a slasher, and this one did deliver. So 5 out of 5 stars for this one. So the second book is called Blood in the Water. All right, I actually might need to get that one this week, or like order that one, because it looks like another summer ween read. And then the third book is Static Snow. I would definitely wait to read that one once snow hits. So December, January. Actually, it seems like a good January read. But Blood in the Water, okay, so they are connected. Says, after a deadly summer, Ander, which is the character that we followed in the first book, accepts an invite to the Oasis, the world's first underwater research lab turned luxury vacation spot. That's a must for me this week. Yeah, but this one, very much enjoyed. If you're looking for something at the very end of summer ween to read, it's a rather quick book as well. So here you go. Camp 1985. The last book that I have to chat about is my cozy murder mystery that I picked from the TBR jar. So this right back here that we need to go over and choose another one for the week was One Poison Pie. Super cutie little cover here. And this is how I love my cozy murder mysteries. I was drawn from the beginning of this book. There was a lot of things happening. I think that was another factor of it. A lot of different characters that I cared about. We weren't just, I mean, obviously we're following the main character, but there were a lot of side characters that came in and I was interested in, okay, what's their job? What are they doing? Where are they living? Like, what are their day-to-days? And that is the main thing that is going to get me to read the entire series of A Cozy Murder Mystery, is I need to have all of those pieces together. And this one definitely delivered. 5 out of 5 read for me. I like the puns. I like the campy, over-the-top vibes. Mia is our main character, and she's a kitchen witch, which means we have a lot of chit-chat about food and recipes. She's starting up her own catering business in this renovated school. So like just the setting of that alone was very interesting. Going through the day-to-day of her changing the school to be not only her place of work, but also her apartment. And then there's an entire another section that she hadn't even got to yet. I mean, like, it's a school, so it's a huge building that she has to work with. And that will eventually be apartment apartment buildings for other people in the town. Her grandma's friend is throwing a birthday party. The murder happens before the catering event even takes place. So very quickly, we get into the mystery portion of the book, and it just keeps going from there. There isn't just one mystery, though, in this book. There are 2 or 3 different things that pop up. So I didn't guess the ending to the book at all, which is very rare for me because I read a lot of cozy murder mysteries. Most of them follow a very similar trajectory, which is why I read them. They're cozy. I like getting into that world. This was a thrift find for me, so I think I will end up buying the next book in this series. I'm interested to know what happens to Mia. I want to know what's happening to her catering business. There's a paranormal aspect to it. She has a cat that has a human trapped in it. I don't know. They glossed over that very quickly. It was literally just 1 page. There's ghosts that pop up. Her grandma can read other people's minds. Like, there's just a lot of different things happening in it, and we didn't stop and focus on something and over explain the situation. So I do have a lot more questions about every single character in here, and that's a good cozy murder mystery read to me. The last book that I was reading this week is our book club pick, which is The Sea Hides Its Dead. This is a water horror read, and we are halfway through August, but if you want to join, you still have plenty of time. But yeah, so far I've been liking it. I'm not going to get too much into it. Obviously, we'll have a full review at the end of the month. All right, moving on to my favorite part of the week, using my TBR jar to pick a prompt for my next cozy murder mystery read. Ooh, there we go. Put you back in order. I do have a couple of new books that I thrifted this week, but let's actually pick out the prompt first before I start pulling all those out because it might not even apply. So let's see. Pumpkins. So pumpkins on the cover, pumpkin on the name. I feel like I'm going to have a lot to choose from this week. Okay, so this one right in the middle, jumping out at me. I love this cover. I'm not sure if it's the original copy of this book or like the cover that they went with. It's one that has texture on it. So the pumpkin is actually rounded and the cutout from the eyes. I've seen a newer version of this and I don't really like it as much. Again, it has nothing to do with the book, but if it's a cozy murder read, I want it to have all of the kitsch. So Trick or Treat Murder, that is the first option. What else do we have for pumpkins? Oh wow, I thought there would be more. Okay, so this one does have a pumpkin on it, actually multiple. Chaos at the Lazy Bones Bookshop. This is actually a new find for me, and it is first in the series. I'm not sure if this is first in the series or if it's a standalone, but honestly, most of the cozy murder reads, they're basically standalone, so I wouldn't mind getting into it. It is a year-round Halloween-themed town in Oregon. Our main character owns a bookstore. Yeah, I feel like that's all I need to know for this one. I love reading books about books. This is the one I would like to pick so far. Let's see if there's any other ones that have a pumpkin on it. I've already read that one. Death by T. Familiar Motives. Nope, nothing on there. Does this? Oh, this one does have a pumpkin on it as well. Another one of the new ones from this week. Trouble is Brewing. That one doesn't. I think this one does. Okay, this one does as well. Murder at Cape Costumes. This I know for sure is not a first in the series. Just in time for Halloween, a new costume shop has opened on Main Street, and there's a cute little black cat on the bottom there. 4 options so far. Does this one have? No, I thought this for sure would have a pumpkin on it, but just pumpkin color. No pumpkins, nothing. Food, nope. Leaves, attic, cats. Okay, this one. Inked Up, which is a Stamping Sisters mystery. That's another option. Fatal Fudge Swirl, which screams Summerween or Halloween, because I think this is actually during Halloween. This wedding takes the ice cream cake. An ice cream shop mystery. A movie production brings drama and murder to a close-knit New England village. 6 different options, with just the prompt being a pumpkin. I want to read every single one of these. Okay, let's narrow it down actually. The Trick or Treat one, let's save this until it gets a little bit closer to Halloween. Feel like that is going to be good. Fatal Fudge Swirl, I feel like this could be a potential since we're coming to the end of Summerween. This one, it screams fall to me with crunchy leaves. We have a corn maze in the background. We'll save that one. The costume store, I also feel like I should wait until at least September. I mean, we're right there. It's now down to Paranormal Activity, Chaos at the Lazy Bone Bookshop, or Fatal Fudge Swirl, which, you know what? I'm going to save this one actually. So now, between these two, the bookstore is the one I want to read the most. Okay, there we are. Murder Never Takes a Holiday. And here's my bookmark for the week. So let me know how your reading went this week. And if you have any suggestions of books that I need to add to my queue, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope you have a super spooky rest of your night, and I will see you in my next video.